Right now, Tulsa police working two different deadly shootings from overnight. We begin with a heartbreaking story of a man simply doing his job and ended up as a sobering statistic. A homicide that pushes Tulsa past the 50 mark. 2 News reporter Patricia Santos is live outside the Riverside Division with the very latest. Patricia?
Well, we know one potential suspect is in custody right now, but he is not cooperating with police. Right now, police are still looking for 2 other suspects, the shooter and his friend. They are only identified as 2 black males in their early 20s. And this morning, we are getting new information about this shooting. Police say a locksmith was called to the Beckett Ridge Apartments near 51st and South Memorial around 11:15 last night. He was called to open up a vehicle after the car keys were left inside. When he was done with the job, there was a dispute over pay, a mere $20, according to police. The man who called the locksmith refused to hand over the money. He went inside the apartment and then returned with 2 other men. And that's when the dispute then took a violent turn. Police say the locksmith took out a gun and one of the suspects took out another. That's when the shots were fired.
We don't know for sure exactly what words were exchanged in order for it to escalate to that level. I just know that he was shot, and they were doing CPR as they were transporting him away.
Now, the victim was taken to St. Francis Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. He is in his early 20s and was a contractor for a national call service. His family is still being notified, and this morning officers canvassed the apartment complex for witnesses. Anyone with information on this shooting is urged to call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous. We're going to continue to follow this story and bring you the very latest on KJRH.com. Live in South Tulsa, Patricia Santos, 2 News works for you.
And also new this morning, another deadly shooting, this one in West Tulsa. A man shot multiple times at a home near South 36th West Avenue and West 51st Street. Police say there was an argument in the street there as a dark-colored SUV rolled up just before 10:30 last night. People inside started shooting. Those outside returned fire. The SUV sped off, and police are still trying to track them down. And we have team coverage of this overnight as we dig deeper into the Tulsa homicide rate. The overnight shootings marked 50 and 51, a big jump compared to last year. 2 News anchor Brianne Palmerini is live in South Tulsa with more details. Brianne?
Well, Justin, this is the scene here of homicide number 51. Detectives have just wrapped up the scene, leaving within just the last few minutes. Now, in all of 2012, 51 homicides is more than we had in all of 2012. 46 homicides for the entire year in 2012. That's the lowest number in 10 years. Before that, in 2011, there were 50. Violent crime was on a downward trend, but it looks like it's picking back up again. According to the website neighborhoodscout.com, compared to communities of about the same size, Tulsa has some of the highest violent crime rates in the country. Last year, homicide detectives could not pinpoint exactly what caused the homicide rate to dip, but they noted the number of younger offenders. More homicides committed by teens than in years past. Now, as far as the 2 homicides from overnight, police have not officially arrested anyone for homicide. Now, back in 2009, Tulsa tied the record for the most homicides the city's ever had, with 69 people killed. Now, with several months to go before the end of the year, it is possible to be back on that track. Live in South Tulsa, Brianne Palmerini, 2 News works for you.
And stay with 2 News for the very latest developments on these overnight shootings. We'll bring you information as it happens right here on air at KJRH.com and our mobile apps.